Hello, this is Ben119 and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be making a top 5 video for Pikmin 3 Deluxe. I'm going to be doing the top 5 areas. So I'm going to be rating each area out of 15, and there's going to be 3 ways I'm going to rate each level, and it can get a possible ranking of 5 in each category. So the first category is basically the aesthetics and the way the area looks, so like the detail, the background, just all the little bits and pieces in the area, like how it all looks. The second way I'm going to judge the area is the gameplay and the bosses and the puzzles in the area, so basically gameplay, because that's obviously a big thing. And the final way I'm going to judge the area is music, because I think the music does play a big role and it can make an area good or bad depending. So yeah, that's how I'm going to rank it. Let's just jump into it. At number 5 on my list is the Formidable Oak, which is the final area in Pikmin 3 Deluxe. And this area is pretty cool because you basically have to carry back Olimar and you have to fight the final boss. And the thing about this area is that there's no fruits to collect in this area, so the gameplay is very different. And it's a very linear kind of level, and there's a lot of puzzles involved, and you have to use a lot of different colours, and there's lots of different enemies. It's quite an interesting concept, but to be fair, the reason it's at the bottom of the list is because I just don't find it as enjoyable as the other areas. So I do like the use of the puzzles and how you have to build bridges and you have to keep guiding Brittany away from the Plasm Wraith so he doesn't steal Olimar. I do like that you have to keep multitasking between the captains so they stay safe, and it ends up being a pretty good final level that isn't easy. I do like how there is different paths you can choose sometimes, near the start you can either build a bridge or you can go around a longer route. You can get bomb rocks as well to kill some enemies, or you could open up a stone gate that leads back to a later part of the level if you can't do it all in one day. I think it's pretty cool. I just think that there's a few things missing, so I'm going to give it its ratings now. So for the way it looks, the graphics, I will give a 4 out of 5. The thing that was preventing me from giving it a 5 is that the outside, there isn't really much going on the outside level, and there's just not that much to see, but the cave does look really nice, and I really like all the detail in the cave and how dark it is and all the lights and everything. So I will give it a 4 for that. It's a pretty good rating for. The gameplay, I will only give a 3 though. Now 3 is still pretty decent, and even though I do quite like the gameplay, it just doesn't feel like Pikmin because I'm used to having to carry things back to base and doing loads of multitasking, and there just isn't that much multitasking going on. And the full level is quite linear and there's not really hidden fruits and stuff to find, and it's just one path basically. And the music, I will give a 3 out of 5, which is pretty good, and the music on the outside of the level isn't really that good. It's quite quiet to be honest, but the music in the cave is pretty good and it is quite tense. And the final boss music is really cool as well, so I will give it a 3, and nearly a 4, but if the outside music is better I'd probably give it a 4. So overall, the Formidable Oak gets a total of 10 out of 15, which for number 5 on the list, that is still really good. 10 out of 15 is really good for being at the bottom of the list. So yeah, that's my opinion on Formidable Oak. Let's move on to number 4. So at number 4 on my list is the Twilight River. And the Twilight River is a really cool area, and I really enjoy playing the area, and it's one of my favourites in the all fruits category as well. There's a lot going on in Twilight River. I like all the lily pads. The lily pad system is a really cool concept, having lily pads go down the river and you have to get on them to get off at different places. I like the use of winged Pikmin and how you can use them to get over water. The mini bosses are pretty cool. You got the Snagret, and there's loads of orange bulbs next to a tomato. I know that's not really a mini boss, but I'm just saying that. The main boss area is alright, the bee boss. I'm not too big a fan of it. And it's just a pretty cool area overall. There's quite a lot going on and there's quite a few things to explore and get. And you do find winged Pikmin in that area, which is probably my favourite type of Pikmin in Pikmin 3. So I'm going to base it on the graphics now. So the graphics easily get a 5 because it looks amazing, especially when it's raining. It's probably the best looking area when it rains. All the water looks really nice, all the lily pads look cool. I like the cave that you can go into to get the raspberries. The whole area, the whole second area with the big tree, all looks amazing, and it's just a really nice looking area, so I'm going to give it a 5 for that. Now however, the gameplay does only get a 3 though. Now I do really like the gameplay still, but in a way I do like the lily pads, but sometimes it does feel quite linear. Towards the start of the level when you're first building a bridge to get to the wing Pikmin, it feels quite a linear process to get to the wings. And even when you do get into like the main area, like there isn't too much to explore compared to the other areas. And like the final and the boss of the area is okay, but like the way you fight him is quite boring as well. And he's not my favourite boss of all time. It's a good area still, but I don't think it deserves like a 4 or 5, just because I think the other areas are a lot better. And the music though, I will give the music a 4 though, because the music is pretty good. It's not like perfect or anything, but it goes well with the area and it fits the theme of the area really well. So there you go, the grand total of the Twilight River is 12 out of 15, which is a really good score, especially for 4 on the list. And even though this is 4 on the list, and I did say the flaws with the area, I still really like this area. And the 4 main areas in this game could all be number 1, like for different reasons, but one of them had to go at number 4, so yeah, it was this one. Sorry about that. So let's move on to number 3. And number 3 on my list is the Distant Tundra, which is the 3rd area in the game. And it's a really cool area, and it's a really enjoyable area to play. So I really like all the snow theme. The snow theme's a really cool theme to have. I also really like all the puzzles in the area, and it's just a fun area to play. The thing that sticks out to me the most is the multitasking section when you first go there, because Brittany gets separated from Alf. And Brittany also gets yellow Pikmin, so you have to keep trading your Pikmin across to Alf, and Alf has to give you rocks and reds. And basically you just trade Pikmin and you can use them for different puzzles, and when you get back together you're able to unlock the next area, which leads you to the boss of the area, which is a cool boss. Also you get the next captain from there, and it's the only area to have 2 main upgrades rather than just 1. So yeah, it's a really cool area. So the graphics I will give a 5 because I love the snow theme, and all of the area just looks really nice. The snow works perfectly, and it's just a really nice level, like the way it all looks. The water's cool. All the caves are cool. I like the atmosphere with the second boss when you're fighting him in the cave. So yeah, the graphics get a 5. The gameplay I will give a 4. Now the gameplay is all really cool, and I do love all the multitasking with Alf and Brittany near the start. But the one thing I don't like about it is once you get the whole map opened up and once you get Charlie, there is quite a few sections that are fairly linear. For example, the bit that leads to where Charlie is in the second boss, once you go back there's nothing really to do. And there's just some areas where there's just nothing to do when you go back there, but there is still a lot to do. And the Shaggy Longlegs boss is really cool, and I really love the Bull Bear Cave. The Bull Bear Cave really stands out to me as like a really unique area in the game. And it's a pretty scary area to go into as a casual, so yeah, that really stands out, and that's why it gets a 4 and not a 3. And the music is really nice. Like the music's not perfect or anything, but it goes really well with the area, and it has a very like Christmassy, snowy theme to it. And it just fits the level really well, so yeah, I'll give the music a 4. So the grand total of this area is going to be 13 out of 15, which is really, really good. And yeah, it is 3rd place, and it could be 2 or 1, but I just found that the areas I ranked 2 and 1 were just better than this area. But yeah, it's still a really solid area. It's one of my favourite areas to play. And yeah, we're going to move on to number 2 now. At number 2 on my list is the Tropical Wilds, and the Tropical Wilds is an amazing area, and there is loads to do, and it just looks really nice. So one thing I do like about it is that when you first play it, it seems like quite a small area and there's not much to do there. But once you come back with all the different colours of Pikmin and you are prepared to do a load of multitasking, there is loads to do. Like there is 2 mini bosses, there is a main boss, there's 18 fruits in total. There's quite a few like hard enemies, there's loads of little caves to explore, there's loads of bomb rocks, there's loads of stuff to do, and it's just like, I'd say it's the biggest area in the game by far, and it's just the most fun to explore in my opinion for the first time. And it's quite a difficult area in places if you don't know what you're doing or where you're going or what you want to collect. So I'm just going to talk a bit about the graphics. So the graphics easily get a 5. I just love the theme of like the tropical theme, and I like how there's like a beach area. I like the main boss arena, that all looks really cool. The underwater area looks really nice, and the thing that stands out to me the most, and probably other people as well, is the waterfall, because the waterfall just looks beautiful. And it's like a main thing in the area that stands out, and it's just really unique. And I like how you have to get some Pikmin up there to get one of the fruits. The gameplay does get a 5 as well. There is just so much to do, and there's just so much going on. Like, the main boss is really cool, the Sunbelt Chimera Slug. There is a Shaggy Longlegs fight there that involves 2 separate arenas. One of them's full of fire and one of them you have to break an electric gate to get into it. The underwater boss is really cool. The separate caves are really cool that you can go into. There's quite a lot to explore. I like the beach that has the crab on it, and it's pretty challenging casually. And there's just loads to collect, and you can go back to Alf's crash site, and there's a fruit back there, and bulbobs, and there's just so much to do there, and it's really, really fun. And the scale puzzle is really fun as well, and it's quite challenging to figure out if you're a casual. And the music is going to get a 4. This is a close 5, but I just didn't quite feel like it deserved a 5. Even though the music is still very, very good and it fits the level very well, it just doesn't quite deserve a 5 in my opinion. So that's my opinion on Tropical Wilds. Easily gets a 14 out of 15, almost a perfect score. My second favourite area of all time. It was very close to being my favourite, but number 1 is quite obvious, so let's get on to number 1. So at number 1 on my list is the Garden of Hope. And the Garden of Hope is just an incredible area, and I can't really think of any flaws with the area. Like, not any main flaws at least. And there's just so much to do, and the thing that really stands out to me is when you first go there early in the game, it actually looks like a really small area and there's not much to do. Like, there's only like a few fruits you can access, and even when you come back with like yellows, like there's still not even that much you can do. But later on in the game, there is a plot twist with Louis where he steals all of your juice and he blows up one of the walls. And after he does that, it reveals a huge section of the area that you're not able to get to before. And there's a lot to do with wings and blues, and there's other things to do as well. The whole area just looks incredible, and there's 2 main bosses there instead of there just being 1. The mini bosses are cool, like both the lobsters are really cool. The puzzles are really cool, there's loads of scale puzzles, and I like the puzzle where you have to build up one of the like pots with the bridge piece tiles, and then you can throw 3 captains across. We'll throw 2 captains across, but you need 3 captains for the puzzle. It works really well, and it's never really been seen before in the other areas. And I like the fact that when Louis steals your juice, you have 0 juices, so it makes when you go back there quite stressful because you have to be constantly looking for fruit, because if you don't, then you're going to die. So the graphics of the area easily gets a 5. All of the water looks amazing. I like all the sub caves. I like how there's just so much detail in like the area and the walls of the area. The second boss arena looks absolutely incredible. The first boss arena still looks really, really cool though, like the big cave. There's just loads to do, and every single part of the map just looks really nice. And yeah, it's just the nicest looking area in my opinion, so I give that a 5. The gameplay does get a 5 as well because it's got 17 fruits, which is the second most amount of fruits in any area. All of the fruits are hidden really well, and I really love the locations they picked. All the puzzles work really well, especially the scale puzzles that I was on about before. I like the scale puzzle in the cave where you have to balance out one of the scales so you can get the grapes. I also like the puzzle where you have to bring wings over through the water to lift up one of the things where you can get to one of the fruits. I think the overall gameplay is really fun, and the bosses as well. Both of the bosses are really amazing, especially the second boss. The 2 lobster mini bosses are really cool as well. They just fit the theme really well. Having like one of them in the water area and one in a cave, it just works really nicely. And there's just loads of different ways to get to places as well. Like, there's not usually just one way of getting to places. It's quite a non-linear area once you properly explore it. And there's usually 2 paths to get to pretty much any main part of the area. So that is really cool. The music will obviously get a 5, and this is the first area to get 5 in the music. And the music just fits perfect, and it's probably my favourite piece of music in Pikmin 3. It's really relaxing piece, and it just goes with the levels so well. And it's just really cool. So it gets a perfect score of 15 out of 15. And the Garden of Hope is easily my favourite area. And it's just, I don't know, it's almost flawless. Like, I don't know what this area could do better. Like, it's the perfect size, they got the perfect amount of stuff. All the enemies are really cool in the area. I like the underwater octopus enemies. They're a really cool feature that are only in that one level. There's even like a crab in the area. So yeah, there is a lot, and it's easily my favourite area. So yeah, that is my favourite area in Pikmin 3 Deluxe. So this is the results of the 5 areas, and this is the scores they all got in the individual categories. So yeah, that's just so you can get a reminder. And also, I really enjoyed making this list, and it is fun to edit as well. I'd like to see your opinions in the comment section below if you feel like posting it. If you don't, then that's fine as well. Please leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe if you're new around here. I may make more top 5s or top 10s or whatever in the future, depending on how I feel and what I want to do. So yeah, look out for them if you're interested in them. And if you haven't seen my Twilight Princess top 9 video, I'd recommend watching that because it's in the same style as this one. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.